All right, and welcome back, everybody, to another installment of the Pokemon TCG Offline Series. I have a few battles for you today. First deck is a little toxic. You have the cheap Pokemon Go and Fusion Strike ETB sleeves up here. As you can see here, I go first. Disgusting first hand, leading off with a Mew V and 2 battle VIP passes. My opponent only getting a Regidrago V out, as you can see. And if you can look here with if you're unfamiliar with the Genesect V on the screen there, if you look at the Fusion Strike system ability, it's toxic right now. So with 2 battle VIP passes, the way Mew Genesect usually works, and if you can look at the Techno Blast attack, during your next turn, this Pokemon can attack. Mew is going to evolve into Mew VMAX. Mew VMAX is going to use Techno Blast because it lets you attack with anyone on your bench, right? So that's why you have 2 Mews out, so you can keep like alternating between. I cram here. I think it fails. Oh, it didn't fail. Okay, well, I get the cram. I attach the double turbo, so now I'm going to evolve Mew V into Mew V into Mew VMAX next turn. I'm going to be able to attack with Genesect V. So this is super toxic. I have Fusion Strike system here. I get the Mew VMAX. I really do not need to do anything right now. I feel so set. I cram a Lost Vacuum. I think this is the cram that fails. Yeah. Nothing. I Fusion Strike system again. I get another double turbo, so I attach that on that Mew, or the other Mew on my bench next turn. But having 3 Genesects on your bench, having 2 Mews, obviously we're going to try to evolve in the Mew VMAX next turn to be able to attack. The other one you want on your bench is you either want another Genesect or an Oricorio. I don't know if my Oricorio is prized. I don't think it is. I think I just do not care. Because, yeah, my opponent literally attached a single Grass Energy to the Regidrago V, not doing anything else for second turn. I evolved Mew V into Mew VMAX, and I'm doing 200 and I'm doing 190 right now because the double turbo does 20 less. I cram away a Mew V. I actually cheat here. You can only cram away items. So I grab a Power Tablet, which lets you do your Fusion Strike Pokemon do 30 more damage. Double Turbo minus Genesect V's 210 right there on the screen. Does 190 with the minus 20, plus 30 with the Double Turbo. And yeah, that's the Cross Fusion Strike there. That's game 1. Mew Genesect eating my opponent alive. It is a disgusting deck, kind of showing you what it can do. That went really fast. That was... Yeesh. Yeah, sorry if I'm trying to like clearly communicate what Mew Genesect can do. Oh my god, it is a gross deck. Moving on to our next game here, we have Arceus Pikachu. I mulligan Arceus Pikachu Radiant Jirachi. Get a look at these smexy Pikachu sleeves. I was like, yeah, do you wanna run it back? That was kind of a rough game, but again, that's why I don't enjoy super competitive meta. A really rough hand here. Dunsparce and Yveltal. And I just enjoy how colorful the game is because, you know, when you play competitively, you're going to play Lugia, you're going to play Mew Genesect, or you're going to try to go for some cheese strat, you know what I mean, to try to make something work. So yeah, everyone enjoys the game different ways, right? And moving back to this deck here, we have a Dunsparce Yveltal. Really bad first hand, 2 Ordinary Rods. And this was before I edited the deck to not be a meme deck. But yeah, it's a meme deck right now. Evolution Incense, Palpad, 2 Ordinary Rods, an Evolution Pokemon, an Energy, which will probably come in handy later. Very useful. The JK. All right, my opponent gets out a Bidoof to evolve it into a Barrel and a Radiant Charizard, quickballing away a Lost Vacuum and searching their deck for a Regidrago. Maybe gonna be able to actually make something pop this game. Mew Genesect, again, that's what happens when you play super meta decks. They win turn 2 or 3, and they just, you know, they get set up right away, and they dominate, and they sweep you, and that's why there's only Mew and Lugia, and maybe you'll catch the rare meme deck in a regional or something, right? Okay. Opponent gets the Rainbow Regidrago V-Star with the Flex there, with the Evo Incense. I'm always a little skeptical about burning those Evo incenses early. I top deck nothing here, unfortunately. There's really nothing I can do. So yeah, I pass, moving my next turn. But if I had a Marnie in my hand when my opponent uses the Evo incense, I'm like, I don't want you to that Regidrago V-Star in your hand. My opponent Pokestops, evolves their Regidrago and Regidrago Rainbow V-Star. Look at that. Wow. Throws a Crobat in their bench, drawing up to 6 cards in their hand. And I'm actually really, really excited to see that Pokestop on the bench, because right now I cannot do anything. I cannot set up with Arceus. I cannot evolve. I cannot even throw it on an Arceus to evolve an Arceus V-Star, to throw it on a Pikachu V, to throw it on a Radiant Jirachi. I literally cannot do anything. I'm terrified. This deck can set up really, really fast in that you can get a Jirachi out, you can get an Arceus out, and start moving. Clara does not do anything for me. Again, 2 Old Rods into Clara. You can see this when I say this is the more memey iteration of the deck. So I do Pokestop here, throwing away a Glimwood Tangle, and if I can actually hold my cards in frame, I think the only thing I keep there is a Quick Ball. So I'm going to be able to actually Quick Ball something. I think I Quick Ball away an Old Rod. I don't really remember. And I think I grab... Right here, I'm looking at the fact that my Radiant Jirachi is prized. It's really unfortunate, because otherwise I'd be able to throw on the Twin Energy on the Radiant Jirachi and be able to actually, you know, stand a chance against the Regidrago V-Star. So I just attach the Twin Energy to Arceus. That's going to be a misplay later. I think it's a double turbo, and it's not a huge misplay. It's just it's 1 energy instead of 2. But I want to like attack with Radiant Jirachi, have him knock the Radiant Jirachi out, and then I can use Radiant Jirachi's ability, which lets me the Air Balloon and the Professor's Research here. Then I get to use the when it gets knocked out by damage and it's in the active slot, you get to search your deck for any 3 cards, right? Which is really, really necessary for you know how far behind we are right now. Yeah, you can kind of see my opponent's hand there, what they're getting off with this Professor's Research. I am really, really scared right now, not terrified. I run Rillaboom in my Regidrago deck. I don't think I have a Regidrago on the channel yet. I definitely have some footage recorded. But Rillaboom lets you like attach 2 grass energy to your Pokemon per turn. And Regidrago needs 3 energy to attach, 2 of them being grass. So I have 2 energy on my Arceus V. I think I have 3. And I am going to Evo Incense here. And this isn't the biggest deal in the world, because I could have just grabbed a double turbo with my Starbirth. I actually thought I had a double turbo on my Arceus. So that's an apology to my opponent. That's the nice thing about playing casual games. You can kind of mess up, your opponent can mess up. And just keep an eye out, you know what I mean, on both your guys' side of the field. No one's trying to cheat or anything like that. So yeah, instead of grabbing that Heavy Ball, I would have grabbed a double turbo and the Air Balloon, and I still would have been able to set up, you know, someone on my bench, right, with a Trinity Nova. But I'm going to use the Heat-Seeming Heavy Ball and grab a Radiant Jirachi. Yeah, there's a Heat-Seeming Heavy Ball. I think I did put the Air Balloon on the Dunsparce. Yep, and there's the Radiant Jirachi. Such a beautiful looking card. I love like the little like cosmic background and everything too. Like there's no way that card's going to be $1 5 years from now. And it's also really, really fun. Entrusted Wishes being really, really good, especially with deck cycling with Old Rod and Clara, which I have 3 of in my hand right now. I retreat with Dunsparce, throw out Arceus, and I have already Starbirthed. And do I Pokestop here? I guess I Pokestop. I mean, I have so many Old Rods and Claras. I'm not really worried about discarding anything besides more Glimwood Tangles. I only run 4 in the deck. I think I Pal Pad just for a meme. I guess I somehow discarded a Marnie. I don't remember how I did that, but there's a Marnie in my discard pile that I grabbed a Pal Pad, put it back in my deck. Okay, quick ball here, get out the Pikachu. So I'm trying to talk on my space, trying to talk about like what's happening with the video and whatnot. I do get a Blunder Policy, throw it on Jirachi, and yeah. So yeah, I throw up this guy because I did cheat. I cannot Trinity Nova, but I do Trinity Nova. I do let my opponent pull a prize card for that in a little bit. That is a big mistake. So you cannot. Twin Energy on a Pokemon V or V-Star or V-Max is only 1 colorless energy and not 2. But again, I thought I had a double turbo. I could have played around it with the Starbirth ability anyway, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But it is good for honesty and everything, you know, and whatnot. But yeah, was able to get out my Pikachu V and attach 3 Lightning Energy with Arceus's Trinity Nova. So I'm in a really, really good spot, especially with how, oh my god, how scary everything was earlier, having only a Yveltal and a Dunsparce. My opponent is setting up Regidrago and has a Radiant Charizard on their bench. They Quick Ball, throwing away a Flygon. Not really that scary. I guess if I evolve into Pikachu VMAX, I'm scared because Flygon's attack hits VMAXs for more damage. So I'm going to keep that in mind now that I see that in the top of his discard pile. I think in my edited version of the deck, I only run one Pikachu VMAX, just because it's either they're going to shut you down, or you're better off flying with Glimwood Tangle for, you know, to shut your opponent down. You know what I mean? Pikachu VMAX either works or it doesn't work. My opponent grabs a Leafeon with their Quick Ball, which is going to let them, help them with Energy Manip a little bit better. Again, I don't like Leafeon V, not only because you can boss it out and take 2 prize cards. I also don't like it because I think Rillaboom and Rare Candy is so much better, and Regidrago usually doesn't suffer with draw support, thanks to his V-Star power and his intelligent deck building with a lot of Serenas and supporter cards. And, you know, the right Quick Balls and Lumineons, and, you know, usually I think it's almost always better to run Rare Candy Rillaboom. I do get the Glimwood Tangle out. It is my turn. I don't think my opponent was able to attack. They did. Did they boss out my Dunsparce? I think I missed that. They must have. I think that was a huge misplay to boss out Dunsparce instead of Yveltal, especially because my Dunsparce has an air balloon. Kind of a weird misplay on my opponent's part. I am going to throw the double turbo on Radiant Jirachi. I'm going to be able to retreat with Dunsparce. Huge misplay on my opponent's part with the air balloon. And I'm going to Astral Misfortune. That's right. Big round of applause. Let's see what we get for the coin flip. I got a Tails, so I Glimwood Tangle. I gotta go again, and I get another Tails. So I get 2 Tails in a row, so I cannot get the Astral Misfortune 2 heads in a row. Knock your opponent out. That is so OP, especially with Glimwood Tangle. I think it's like a 47% chance to get a knockout. And V-Star is not the biggest deal in the world, but when your opponent has a V-Max, or when you can get a knockout with Jirachi, when you, in one turn, would it normally take 2 turns. It is RNG. There's the Flygon right there. I was talking about like being scared with the VMAX power and everything. It is scary. Radiant Jirachi is scary. Regidrago, also really, really scary. I think they knocked me out here with Flygon's attack. That was what all that was on the left side of the screen. And yeah, I start talking about the Entrusted Wishes ability. I also forgot to pull my 3 cards of Blunder Policy, so I do that before I use Entrusted Wishes. Nothing really changed there, whether I did it, you know, as soon as I threw those coins or right now, as long as it's before I shuffle my deck and grab cards, the Entrusted Wishes ability there. So I forget what I grab here. I'm kind of set up right now. I feel like I'm in a really, really good spot. The only, like, my opponent has 4 prize cards. I think I let them pull a prize card for cheating with Arceus. I think that's going to be in a second here. But they do have... So they only pulled 1 prize card, right? Because they only knocked out my Jirachi. They haven't hit my Pikachu. They haven't my Arceus. And I have such a big hand right here. So I grab Clara, and I'm going to grab Jirachi out of my discard pile and put it right back into my hand, out of my bench there. And I think I grabbed 1 more, like, Lightning Energy that found its way into my discard pile. Let's see. Yeah, there's 1 right there. Whenever I grabbed it. I think I do grab the Pikachu, too. I don't need it. I really don't want to use it right now, just because, like, Flygon is going to... Or, you know, Regidrago's going to use Flygon's attack and knock me out in 1 turn, which is very, very not ideal. I think I also grab a Twin Energy with Entrusted Wishes, which is going to let me set up Radiant Jirachi. I think the play here is to use the Flying Pikachu V's free retreat, and then throw out Radiant Jirachi with Glimwood Tangle still out. I have really nothing in my hand that else I can do here besides evolve Flying Pikachu V into Flying Pikachu VMAX, which I do not want to do. I fail the first, so I get a Glimwood Tangle and Blunder Policy because I fail the first coin flip, and then I do get the 2 heads necessary for Astral Misfortune to get the knockout, and that is really, really nice because Arceus is only doing 180 damage, and Radiant Jirachi is doing infinite. You know what I mean? Getting instant knockouts, so it's really, really good against bulky V-Stars and V-Maxes. Not so hot against, you know, single prizers, right? That only give you 1 prize card. So I'm in a really, really good position. My opponent used up all of their momentum or early game momentum to try to get that, you know, that Regidrago V loaded out with energy, which is again why I think Regidrago running Rillaboom is a need, not a want. I think they already pass. Wow, yeah, because my turn again. I attach a Lighting Energy to Radiant Jirachi, retreat, get out Flying Pikachu, evolve into Flying Pikachu VMAX because I know there's no way they can attack with Regidrago V-Star with Flygon next turn, and by the time, you know, they get all the energy they need, I've knocked you out in 2 turns of Flying Pikachu VMAX. And Flying Pikachu VMAX, also, whenever you attack, you do 160 damage, and you're also immune to attacks from basic Pokemon. So that just makes it so I'm not scared of his Charizard. I'm knocking out his Regidrago V next turn, even with a Leaf Energy attached this turn and a Leafeon V Energy attached. Even if he evolves into Regidrago V-Star, he cannot touch me, so I am not afraid. Yeah, so the rest of the game is going to kind of play itself out around this. I think my opponent basically has no chance of winning at this point, which is again why I like running Rillaboom, because, you know, if you run Rillaboom, there's still a game, you still have options with energy manip and whatnot. Because, I mean, when you run Rillaboom, as long as you have a Regidrago V on your bench, you can literally go from 0 energy to V-Star to 3 energy to doing 280 damage of Giratina, or 200 damage minus, you know, taking 80 less damage of Goodra, right? Yeah, so you can kind of see the copium for my opponent now. Quick balling. This is how games go. It's like when you just don't want to forfeit and you kind of want to play it out for fun and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Pokemon games are not really close. It's usually like, who gets the better first hand? Do you have a deck that's can win right away? Do you have a deck that can counter your opponent's deck? Super big full hand here, and I'm just gonna take the prize card. So I think I did let my opponent take a pity prize card for me cheating basically of Arceus. Again, not the biggest deal in the world because I could have grabbed another energy with yeah, I think my opponent conceded there, and I just yeah, it's just like, all right, like, what are you gonna do at this point? You know, even if you evolve into Regidrago V-Star, you're gonna get knocked out. I got a cough, excuse me. All right, kind of a fast game. But yeah, moving from Genesect into Pikachu into Dialga. I think I have played the Dialga deck on the channel. Some of these deck lists are a little bit old too, where, you know, as you play decks, you kind of feel what works and what doesn't work. And like in that Flying Arceus, Flying Pikachu, I was trying to go for memes with Radiant Jirachi, so I've kind of made it like an actual workable deck list now, so you're not going to brick out like that at the beginning as much. But onto this game, actually. I have a really strong start, having a Clink on your bench, turn 1, a Clink, and a Rare Candy in your hand, with a Steel Energy using Beldum, which is basically like a free... Did I go first here? Did I think I definitely went first and attacked, which is... I make some cheater plays, I swear to Christ. Yeah, you cannot call for family. You cannot attack on your first turn. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's good for, you know, both you and your opponent to be paying attention. That's a pretty big oversight. You know, never feel afraid to call someone out for what is a simple mistake, right? But yeah, my opponent is leading off with Mewtwo, Lunatone, Solrock. A lot of fun. With my cheaty first turn, I do throw out Dialga V and Radiant Greninja. I'm going to evolve... Oh my Christ. I think I don't know if the call for family thing is put them on your bench or put them in your hand. But I think it's a little cheap that I get my Dialga V-Star up. I'd have to double check that. As you can imagine, as left 900 making a ton of cheaty misplays. But when you do evolve Clink into Clink, that triple gears ability right there lets you search your deck for the 3 Steel Energy and attach your Pokemon any way you like. And I'm going to throw them all on Dialga V-Star just to get you set up. I also grab a Metagross with an Evolution Incense here, which basically lets you retreat for free since you're running a deck with rare candies. It's super fun. I just hate watching these games back because it's like, oh my god, I cheat so much. I don't even realize it. But I do use, oh, I forgot a little transition there. I do use Radiant Greninja's Concealed Cards ability, discarding a Steel Energy and drawing 2 cards. I do attach another Steel Energy to Beldum. I retreat since I can't evolve it into Metagross's turn of a rare candy. And I just use the Metal Blast attack, which does 40 times 3, which is 120, plus 40 is 160. So do I do 160 damage to Mewtwo V here? I still can't get over how much I cheated that first turn, because I definitely attacked with Beldum and I wasn't supposed to, and that definitely mattered because I got my Dialga V out when I should not have been able to. Yeesh. But yeah, my opponent Marnie's, which is pretty nice because I don't really have a hand I want. I do have the Metagross in there, which is kind of unfortunate. I always could have top decked a rare candy or something like that and be able to evolve Beldum into Metagross and whatnot. I do pull a Forest Seal Stone, which is really, really nice to see, as I can like basically grab like a Professor's Research or whatever and get a lot of early game momentum. But yeah, I'm going to be able to knock out Mewtwo V-Star next turn. I grab a Steel Energy here. I forget what I do with it. I think I Radiant Greninja it. I think it's a huge misplay. Yeah. Do not concealed cards here. Right. Attach it to Dialga. Knock out the Mewtwo. He's at full health. Get a Professor's Research. Yeah, so I Forest Seal Stone here. Oh my, it's so hard watching these games back and you realize how many misplays you make. The Path of Peak, I kind of actually want to keep it. My opponent doesn't have any Rule Box Pokemon in play right now. And I think my Radiant Greninja draw support is more important than whatever my opponent could do with the Path of Peak in play. So I grab, I quick ball away the Path of the Peak. I grab another Dialga V just to potentially get him set up. And I also grab a Colress's with the Forest Seal Stone. I look with a quick ball in the Forest Seal Stone. I Metal Saucer here to grab a Steel. There's already Steel Energy in my discard pile there, so I think that concealed cards Radiant Greninja thing was a huge misplay. There's really nothing I could have done with that draw support anyway, especially the Forest Seal Stone. But again, you see some things in retrospect. Getting get out of Roxanne, put that in the Lost Zone, and I also get rid of the Path of the Peak. I think I run 2 Path of the Peaks to the deck. I don't think they're gonna come and play against Mewtwo V-Star, Lunatone Solrock. Like the worst thing they can do is Radiant Greninja me. And then even then, they can challenge my Stadium Control Pokestop. So how do I pull the I don't remember how I pulled a Clink here. I think I just draw it with the Colresses. So I have a full bench right now, actually having all my cards in frame and knocking out the Mewtwo V-Star, grabbing 2 prize cards. One of them is a Metal Energy. Very, very nice. So I'm in a really, really good position. My opponent is like not showing any signs of slowing down though. Throwing an Air Balloon on their Solrock, retreating out and throwing out Mewtwo. You want to get the 5 energy on Dialga to Star Chronos and take 2 turns, especially when it does 220 damage exactly. But my opponent actually does make a really, really smart play here. They boss out Dialga, which is a threat on the field, and throw out Beldum with a retreat cost of 2 and cannot do anything, especially with the Call for Family having a full bench. There's really not much I can do here. I'm looking at my hand right now, and I'm like, So I actually concealed cards here, and I'm concealed cardsing way, way, way too much. I think the thing I'm afraid of is like my opponent basically setting up their Mewtwo V-Star, boss is ordering out my Dialga V-Star, attaching a Choice Belt and knock me out in 1 turn. So I'm playing a little bit more aggressively. I Evo Sense evolving a Dialga V-Star with the Greninja plays and whatnot. So I only run 11 Steel Energy in the deck, and you need 5 Steel Energy to Star Chronos. So I'm playing very, very discard heavy with these Steel Energies, and I need to be a little bit more careful with them. I also cheat here. It doesn't ever comes into play. But I attach a Choice Belt to a Dialga that already has a Forest Seal Stone on it. Again, doesn't come into play. I realize that I made the mistake before it comes into play. Luckily, I have a Medicham. Okay, these are... Yeah, those are my prize cards. I played a Hisuian Heavy Ball, I didn't even realize it. I got the Medicham out of there. I don't think it's going to come into play, but you can always do fun meme things at Medicham, especially with especially with Dialga, because you can go twice in 2 turns. So this is my opponent's turn. They Trekking Shoes, basically wanting to evolve into Mewtwo V-Star, and the way Mewtwo V-Star and Lunatone Solrock works is, as you can see, Solrock there lets you attach Psychic Energy from your discard pile to your Lunatone, And Mewtwo V-Star, as you can see here, discard up to 3 Psychic Energy from your Pokemon. So you can basically get 3 Solrock on your bench, a Lunatone, attach 3 Psychic Energy with your Solrock to your Lunatone. Opponent gets the Radiant Greninja out here as well. Synergizes very, very nicely of getting Psychic Energy in your discard pile. Yeah, just start nuking. Nuking really, really good energy manip with Lunatone Solrock. The only problem is getting the 2 energy on Mewtwo V-Star to attack in the first place, but only 2 energy isn't too big of a deal. So they do knock out my Beldum here, and I throw back out my Dialga. A little bit of a misplay, maybe. Maybe they wanted to get more set up. Maybe they're all the way set up they need to be. They can knock out my Dialga in 1 turn, so I am terrified. I have no way of... I think I realized I screwed up with the choice belt here. I have no way of Star Chronusing and knocking out the Mewtwo V-Star in 1 turn, since I made the very intelligent decision to conceal cards of Greninja instead of attaching a Steel Energy to Dialga. Especially when the concealed cards like hardly mattered and there's like nothing I really could have fished for anyway. But yeah. Low IQ plays, I guess. So I do Pokestop here in desperation, looking for something, and I discard my one and only Metagross. I guess the Beldum's out of play, so it's not really going to matter in the first place, but now I practically have no way of retreating. So I am going to Metal Saucer here, attach it to my other Dialga, which I desperately need to right now because this Dialga is not getting Star Chronus out, and he is getting knocked out next turn. So I just take my 160, I do what I can, and I'm ready to get nuked next turn. My opponent gets another Solrock out of here. Lunatone is definitely going to have 3 energy on it, meaning I'm getting the full 270 from Mewtwo, plus the Choice Belt adding an extra 30. I'm getting 300 damage to a 280 Pokemon Mon, which means, yeah, I'm getting O-Code. And my opponent takes 2 prize cards, and my 3 Steel Energy on Dialga is, yeah, not so relevant, right? Because you just want the 5, or you just want a ton for... you know, insane knockouts. I have done a little bit of editing on this deck to make it a little bit more consistent in the future, which is very exciting. But yeah, Mewtwo V-Star is going to knock out Dialga. My other Dialga comes up with 2 energy attached to it. I do have the Metal Saucer here, not like it matters. I think it does matter, actually. I think I make an interesting play here. Looking at my hand. So I Pokestop out of desperation, right? I don't have any old rods or any energy recyclers or anything like that. I do grab the second Metal Saucer. I also don't discard the Adaman and Volo. Again, I'm cheating so much in this episode, but like, who cares? All right, not too big of a deal. But yeah, I just knock out Mewtwo V-Star with Metal Blast. I take 2 prize cards for that. One of them is a Steel Energy, which is going to be very, very relevant. I love how this game ends. It's a very, very, very close game. So my opponent Ultra Balls, I think it fails unless they... Okay, no, I'm sorry. They grab their Flex Gold Mewtwo V-Star, and the Pokemon TCG lookup thing didn't have the Gold Mewtwo V-Star. I'm not... Am I scared? Do they have 2 energy attached or 1 energy attached? I guess we'll tell. I think they make a mistake. Yeah. I think, yeah. So they're attaching, struggling to attach a Psychic Energy to Lunatone here. They can attach 2 energy per turn with both the Solrocks, and then like 2 energy per turn per Solrock, and then 1 energy per turn just for the way the card game works. Well, excuse me, hit some. Just running out of breath. I've been talking nonstop for like 25 minutes. The professor's research. And then they pass. I guess they really didn't get anything out of that. They could have, they still need 1 more energy on their Mewtwo V-Star. And I'm really scared right now, because I can't knock out this Mewtwo V-Star. So I Pokestop here. I'm running out of cards. I do grab a Quick Ball, and that's the thing, is like, I wanted that Coding Energy in my hand, but hopefully it doesn't matter. Again, just like fishing through my deck for something, even though like, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. That Raihan could be very, very useful though, because, you know, my Dialga is I'm really scared of my Dialga getting knocked out in 1 turn with another Choice Belt play. So I'm just trying to get, I think I have 2 prize cards left. So yeah. So basically 4 prize cards. I think I have 4 prize cards. Yeah. So I basically, how am I going to get rid of this Mewtwo V? I I think I have that second Kling Clang here. So I used a rare candy. I evolved this into a Kling Clank, and I looked through my deck, and I have 4 cards left, don't I? Yeah, I've literally 4 cards left, so I have no energy. Even if I would have attached that coding energy, it would not have mattered. I attach a steel energy to Dialga just to do a little bit more damage, so I can actually do 160 instead of 120. And then I'm going to make an interesting play here. I'm going to use 2 metal saucers and attach that steel energy to Kling Clank. Because I'm doing 160 with Dialga and then 130 with Kling Clank, and I don't have another Dialga. There's no way I'm gonna be able to throw out more damage. So I'm like, how can I possibly win this? And I'm gonna need the clutch Kling Clank play in the back to save me, right? So Kling Clank has 2 energy, he needs 3, but luckily with the Raihan in hand, as long as I don't get Marnied, I can play Raihan, attach 1 more steel energy from my discard pile to Kling Clank if my Dialga gets knocked out next turn, if my opponent gets a choice belt. Otherwise, I'm living with 10 HP. So I guess that's a huge play. I do attack with the Dialga V-Star doing 160. My opponent is able to nuke me. They're going to Soul Rock, be able to do the full 270 of Mewtwo. And I guess we're going to see the moment of truth of whether my opponent is able to knock me out. They're probably going to Pokestop. I think they level ball here and it fails. Whether they're going to be able to knock me out with the Pokestop choice belt play, I guess we'll see. I kind of... All right, Pokestop. Grabbing 3 cards. What do they get? Moment of Terror. Moment of Terror. Yeah, there it is. The Moment of Terror. Dialga is getting knocked out. That's pretty much all my opponent wants to do is get the Choice Belt and do 300 damage to a 280 Pokemon Mon. Or 280 health Pokemon. So Dialga's knocked out. My opponent has 2 prize cards remaining. 1 prize card remaining, excuse me. They knocked the Beldum at the beginning of 2 Dialga V-Stars. I have 2 prize cards remaining. And so the play I'm going to make here is I am going to Raihan, attach a basic steel energy from my discard pile to my Kling Clank. And 130 plus 160 is enough to knock out the Pokemon, knock out the Mewtwo V-Star. And that is going to win me the game. Luckily, again, that was a very, very close match. The video is coming to a close. But oh my god. I guess I can finally slow down. The games are just like going and kind of pick everything apart. And kind of this is now a podcast. But yeah. Really, really clutch play, especially with those metal saucers. My opponent, if they had a Marnie in hand, it was a big misplay to not play that. Because if I didn't have that Raihan in hand, or those metal saucers, I would not have been able to set up Kling Clank and be able to do 130 damage, which is 130 plus 160 is 290, which is enough to knock out a 290 HP Mon. And that was really, really scary because my opponent only had 1 prize card left, and if that Kling Clank wasn't set up, that was game in their favor. And luckily, I won every game in this video. That's usually not how these go. I built kind of meme decks, so when they win, and we're happy. Game 1, we saw Mew Genesect just like do what Mew Genesect wants to do, which is Fusion Strike System, which is, find a double turbo somehow, evolve into Mew VMAX with like your 3 Genesects on bench, a Fusion Strike System, and then, as you can fish through your deck with Crams and Insane Draw support and Rotom Phone and Fusion Strike System and get out a Power Tablet and do, 220 damage, which is in range of most Pokemon V. Game 2, that was like the more memey version of the Pikachu Arceus Radiant Jirachi deck that is my main character deck, and I have edited a little bit to make it not such a meme. It's still a meme because Glimwood Tangle, you have Flying Pikachu using Fly, which either does 100 or 120 depending on whether you have a double turbo attached. And the way it works is like if you flip a coin and it's heads, this attack does that much damage, and you're immune to all damage and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon, which synergizes super, super well with Radiant Jirachi and the Glimwood Tangle. That also can evolve into Flying Pikachu VMAX, which just has the potential of either giving your opponent 3 prize cards and it not being that good of a VMAX, or completely shutting them down because they can't get anything out that's not a basic, right? We kind of saw that come into play as like when I didn't play the Pikachu VMAX and then I did play the Pikachu VMAX. Again, there's a lot of Claras and Old Rods in those decks, which I've kind of cut down a little bit to make it a little bit more consistent, which you can pull out, your Flying Pikachu VMAX or your Jirachi as necessary, right? Obviously, Arceus there for Energy Manip and the very, very OP Starbirth lookup. Yeah, that was game 2, and then kind of looking at game 3, it was just Dialga memes, and I definitely made some misplays with Radiant Greninja and discarding too many Steel Energy, and it did matter, because I do think I would have been able to get a Star Chronos out when I wouldn't have, or I would have been able to get a Star Chronos out if I didn't Radiant Greninja so much, and I don't even know what I was looking for exactly. I think I was trying to get like another Klinklank or a rare candy for the Metagross, and risk reward, right? But yeah, those were all some really, really fun games. As you can kind of see the residual energy I have like left trying to commentate them, just because they do go so fast. I always feel like I'm gonna have nothing to talk about when I commentate these games, but I'm like barely able to keep up. So I might edit these even like a little bit slower in the future too. But yeah, let me know what you think about the series so far. Very, very excited. Have a ton of footage. Hopefully people enjoy not having the gold wavy background. A lot of people are telling me it was ugly or distracting, and I kind of agree. So I do what everybody else does, and I get where you zoom in on an image and make it blurry, and put that in the background. But yeah, very happy with how this series is looking right now. If you have any comments or criticism, if you like the series, if you don't like the series, let me know what you think. And yeah, we'll get some more content out in the future. I think I found a style of editing to where I can make these videos a little bit faster. They're taking me about 2 to 3 hours to make instead of like 4 to 5. So yeah, look forward to more content in the channel in the future. And yeah, I'll see you later.